Welcome to this week's Coach's Corner feature, and this week our feature is on our Ponca City High School track teams. We've got our boys and our girls track coach, Lee Guest, with us, and this is a busy guy right here. Girls track coach for a long time, took over both programs this year. How's that going?
It's been great. Actually, the second year that I had both of them, and this year has been a great transition. The boys understand what I want to get done. We're getting better quality kids to come off and run track, so it's been great.
Well, that's the key is numbers sometimes, and I know that that's always been a problem, especially when you try to build up points in a meet. You don't have enough. Are we working toward getting more kids out for track?
Yeah, we're actually working with the 6th and 7th graders and going over to the 8th grade center and trying to get those kids to come on out. And my goal with them is you come out and try it and you don't like it, we're not going to be mad at you. So kids are coming out and trying, and they find out, hey, I can kind of do this. And they're hanging around a long time. And by the next 3 or 4 years, it'll be back to the level it was in the mid-'90s.
If there's anybody that knows about multi-sports, it's Coach Guest, who's done football, he's done basketball. I'm going to miss a few here, but I know the track has been something that you've done for a long time. And boy, those young athletes, if nothing else, they need to be in track. If they're not participating in another sport, you try to direct them that way, don't you?
We do, and what we do, we say, next time you're out, go look at the schools in Texas that has all those kids getting recruited, and you'll notice that you'll have track programs somewhere. I say either boys or girls, it doesn't matter, basketball player, football player, they're all going to have track. Then I say come back to Oklahoma, and if you got a good football team, you got a great track program, and they go hand in hand. And that's what the kids are learning as they come out and want to get faster.
What kind of a track season has it been for your kids this year?
It's been pretty good. We started out with our first meet. We went to McGinnis, and all the kids got a chance to go run and find out that you can. And then we went to Old Mug, and they got a chance to go win some stuff. And then we came back to Ponca and had a great home meet. I was very proud of it. Then the last meet we had was in Muskogee, and that's when I knew that we had kind of blossomed. We had the Jinx and the Unions there, and you had the BAs. And we competed with those guys just like we will in regional. Right now we got about 14 or 15 kids that has a shot at going to state, but everything's got to fall right. But that's about 14 kids can go to state from Ponca City this year, boys and girls.
If you could kind of go through the next couple of weeks as to the wind down for the regionals and the state competition.
Okay, this week we are, last week was off, so we don't have a conference anymore. So we had a whole, we could just go run and get in shape and work on our personal stuff that we need to get done. This week we'll run again and work on the relays, and then we'll get the kids, let the kids know where we're at, and then we'll start running lanes. And something like if you draw lane 8 and you're not used to being out there, we'll practice on that all week. From 1 through 8, we work on those lanes. The high jumper, get your steps down, pole vaulters, just gets everything timing down so you're not scared to go do something in the regional.
The regional is coming up. Do you have a location yet for the regionals?
We're going to Claremore again this year. We went there 2 years ago. Decent track. Our kids know the layout, most of them do. And so when we go there, they won't be scared of anything. They know where you're going. They know how to set up everything. Let's go get it done. And let's try to get many kids to state. And that's what we've been telling them every day. Hey, we know what we're doing now. Everybody to stay relaxed. Let's go get 14 or 15 kids in the state.
And the following week will be the state track meet. If you could maybe go through some of the individuals that have had great performances this year.
Okay, when I came up with the list, I said, well, I'm not going to give all the names because I'm going to miss somebody. So I got both sides. But we have 2 girls in the 100 that can actually have a good shot at it. We have 2 gentlemen in the 400, 2 300 hurdles. We have a pole vaulter. We have a lady in the shot and disc, a lady in the disc, a young man in the shot. What am I thinking? A young man in the mile, 2 guys in the 800. And we got a shot. The 2-mile relay has a shot to get there. Mm-hmm. And if I miss anybody, I'm sorry, but we got about 14, 15 kids already. They all know who they are that can go to the state. We're just waiting to see who can get in and who falls apart somewhere else. And that's what we're hoping. Somewhere in the other 3 regionals, somebody's missed something, and we can get that 4th place finish.
Where's the state meet at, Lee?
State meet is going to be in Moore, Oklahoma this year. It was in Yukon for the last 3 years. They decided to move it to Moore. They redone the facilities over there, so it's going to be a great meet for us.
Now here's a question that we have to pose to Lee Guest, who is the boys and girls head track coach. And you just mentioned it's enough to just try to keep up with the names and the events. How do you do it on the day of a track meet? How do you make sure that you get the attention to all those kids you need?
Before we leave here this week, every day this week, we tell Terry, hey, this is what you're running. This is what you're running. And then we have 3 sheets, and the coaches, other guys have, and we all write down who ran what. Who missed the events. So and I stand at the finish line. I'm not, a lot of guys sit down to the finish line. I stand up and watch the finish line so I can know what's going on. Coach Darnell had the shot and disc, so I don't have to go over there and worry about that. He takes good care of that. And Coach Cheney got the distant guys, so I don't have to work with those guys. But everything else, I just kind of stay around the finish line and see what's going on. And I have a young lady who's a manager, Miss Freeman, and she goes around and gets all the times for me. So I don't have to go chase stuff down, so I can stay in one spot most of the day and keep up with it.
Well, that's good, and plus the kids have ears and they can hear the announcement. That's a big part of it, is making sure that they are paying attention too.
They have to. If they don't pay attention, it doesn't work. And we are to take the 7 meets we have in the indoor meets. So hey, listen, you gotta listen to the calls, and if you're not paying attention, you're gonna miss something. And so we always tell them, you miss something, you're gonna run a mile.
But at the state meet, that's not going to work because there's no tomorrow. You know, the interesting thing is and I went through the track thing with my kids, but a track meet it's a labor of love. It is an 8 hour, but you really have to be focused both mentally and physically. You can be fast, but if you're not mentally focused, you could have a bad run. Kids really have to be mentally and physically ready to go, don't they?
They have to be, and in track is what we try to do in our track program here. We start with a light schedule and build up. And then we get to a certain point where everybody should got to be running at a certain time, and then we take a little light meet again so you can recover. And then we go back to a real hard meet just before you go to regional, so you know that, hey, if you ain't focused and you ain't got your mind on it, it will slip away from you. And like I tell our kids, you can't start our races over anymore. Once the gun goes off, you're on. There's no timeouts. There's no any way you can say, I want to start all over again. You can't do it. You got to be ready to go every time.
Well, you've done a great job with our sports programs over the year. And for those that don't know, Coach Guess has retired, but he doesn't look like he has retired. You're still staying busy, aren't you?
Too busy. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. Like you said, it's a labor of love. I love track. That's how I got to Ponca City. I got to college for running track, and I just love it. I love being around the kids. They keep me young.
Well, much good luck to you, and thanks so much for being part of our sports programs and handling all the track too. Lee Guess, retired. He's a lay coach, but he does a great job, our boys and girls track programs. For Chris Adams and for Coach Guess, I'm Phil Turney on Coach's Corner.